Have you ever wanted to build an AI application that can switch between models like GPT, Claude, and Gemini without rewriting your code every time? Or maybe you wanted to experiment with different AI models without managing multiple APIs from different providers? Well, that's exactly where today's sponsor, API QIK, comes in. API QIK is a unified AI platform that gives developers access to multiple AI models through a single API. Instead of integrating separate APIs from different providers, you can work with multiple models from one platform. It also supports AI image and video generation, making it a convenient solution for building a wide range of AI applications. Another thing I noticed is that their pricing is quite competitive, which can be especially helpful if you're experimenting with different models or building your own AI projects. In today's video, I'll show you how to get started with API QIK, create and configure your API key, integrate it into a Python project, and build a practical AI-powered password strength checker. You'll also see how changing just a few configuration values lets you switch between the different models using the same application without modifying the rest of your code. So let's get started. This is the API QIK homepage. Right on the landing page, you can see that the platform is designed around a simple idea, providing access to multiple leading AI models through a single API. It supports not only large language models, but also image, video, and music generation models. So whether you're building an AI assistant, a content generation tool, or another AI-powered application, everything can be managed from one platform. One thing that also stands out is the focus on simplicity. Instead of learning different APIs for different providers, you can integrate once and easily switch between supported models whenever you need. Now let's move to the models page. Here you'll find all the AI models currently available on the platform. You can browse through different providers, compare the available options, and choose the model that best fits your project. Having multiple models available in one place makes it much easier to experiment and compare their responses without constantly switching between different services. Next, let's open the console. This is where you'll manage your API access and monitor your usage. As soon as you sign up, API QIK automatically generates your first API key, so you can start experimenting right away. New accounts also receive some free tokens, which is a nice way to test the platform before using it in your own projects. Although an API key is already created automatically, it's generally a good practice to create a separate key for each project. So let's create a new API key for this tutorial. Simply click on Create Token, give it a name, you can set a quota limit if you want. You can also create a group of models. I'll keep it to default. And click on Create to create the key. Copy the created key and store it somewhere safe because you'll be using it inside your project. Before we jump into coding, let's quickly try one of the chat models directly from the platform. I'll select GPT 5.3 codex and enter a simple prompt. Write a Python function to remove duplicate items from a list while preserving the original order. After submitting the prompt, the model generates a clean and well-structured Python solution within a few seconds. This built-in chat interface is quite useful when you want to quickly test prompts or compare model responses before integrating them into your own application. Now it's time for the practical part. Let's switch over to Visual Studio Code and connect our Python application to the API QIK API. Once everything is set up, I'll show you how you can switch between different models simply by updating a few configuration values while keeping the rest of the application exactly the same. I've already created a simple Python project for this demonstration. The application we're building is an AI-powered password strength checker. The idea is pretty straightforward. First, the program performs a few basic password checks locally using Python. It checks things like the password length, whether it contains uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Based on these rules, it classifies the password as weak, medium, or strong. But instead of stopping there, we'll send the same password to an AI model through API QIK. The AI can provide a much more detailed security analysis, explain potential weaknesses, and even suggest ways to make the password more secure. Before running the application, let's quickly look at the project setup. The first file is the .env file. This is where all the configuration is stored. Here, I've added my API key that we created a few moments ago. Next is the API base URL provided by API QIK. And finally, the model name that I want to use for this application. Keeping these values inside the .env file makes the application easier to manage and avoids hard-coding sensitive information directly into the source code. Now, let's open the main Python script. At the top, I'm loading the environment variables so the application can securely read the API key, base URL, and selected model at runtime. Next, I'm initializing the OpenAI client using the API QIK base URL and my API key. Since API QIK provides an OpenAI compatible API, the integration is very simple. And if you've used the OpenAI SDK before, the code will feel familiar. The rest of the application is standard Python code that performs the local password checks. The important part is that whenever we want an AI analysis, we simply send the password to the selected model. Notice that nowhere in the application am I writing separate code for GPT, Claude, or Gemini. The integration remains exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the model name in the configuration. Let's see how that works in practice. Now let's see our application in action. I'll begin with GPT 5.5, which is currently selected in my configuration. For the first test, I'll enter a very simple password. The application immediately performs its local security checks and classifies it as weak. That's expected since the password is short and doesn't meet most of the basic security requirements. Next, the same password is sent to GPT 5.5 through API QIK for a more detailed analysis. GPT 5.5 not only identifies the password as weak but also explains why. It points out that the password is too short, lacks complexity, and is easy to guess. It also recommends using a longer password with uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters while avoiding common words or predictable patterns. Now let's see how GPT 5.5 evaluates a much stronger password. This time, I'll enter a long password that includes uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. The local checker now classifies it as strong. GPT 5.5 also recognizes it as a strong password and explains that its length and character diversity make it much more resistant to common attacks. It even recommends using a password manager to generate and securely store unique passwords for different accounts. So, GPT 5.5 provides a very balanced explanation that's easy to understand while also giving practical security recommendations. Now let's see how another AI model handles the exact same passwords. Notice that I'm not changing anything inside my Python application. The only thing I'm updating is the model name in the .env file. I'll change it to Claude Sonnet 5, save the file, and run the application again. Let's start with the same weak password. Once again, the local checker classifies it as weak, and the password is sent to Claude Sonnet 5 for analysis. Claude reaches the same conclusion, but the explanation is noticeably different. Instead of simply saying the password is weak, it goes into more detail about predictable patterns, brute force attacks, and why short passwords are easier to compromise. The response also feels more structured and security focused. Now let's try the same strong password. Just like before, the local checker classifies it as strong. Claude also rates it as strong, but its explanation focuses more on technical aspects such as password entropy, randomness, and resistance against modern attack techniques. If you prefer detailed security analysis, you'll probably appreciate Claude's style. Now let's switch to our final model, Gemini. Again, I'm only changing the model name in the configuration file. Everything else in the application remains exactly the same. After saving the changes, I'll run the application one last time. First, let's test the weak password. Gemini immediately identifies it as weak and explains the reasons in a much more conversational style. Rather than using heavy technical terminology, it focuses on simple explanations that are easy for beginners to understand, along with practical suggestions for creating a stronger password. Now let's try the strong password. Once again, both the local checker and Gemini classify it as strong. Gemini explains that the combination of length, mixed character types, and randomness makes the password much more secure, while keeping the explanation clear and beginner friendly. After comparing all three models, it's interesting to see that although they all reach the same conclusion, each one has its own personality. GPT 5.5 provides practical and well-balanced recommendations. Claude Sonnet 5 focuses more on technical security analysis. And Gemini explains everything in a simple, easy to understand way. The best part is that throughout this entire demonstration, I never had to rewrite my application. The code remained exactly the same. The only thing I changed was the model name in the configuration, and API QIK handled the rest seamlessly. Before we wrap up, let me show you one more feature available on the API QIK platform. So far, we've been using it to access different AI language models, but that's not all it offers. API QIK also supports AI image generation through the same platform, allowing you to integrate creative AI capabilities into your own applications. Let's give it a quick try. I'll switch over to the image generation section and enter a prompt describing the image I want to create. After submitting the request, the model starts generating the image, and within a few moments, we get the final result. The quality looks really impressive, and just like the chat models, the entire process is simple and straightforward. Whether you are building AI assistants, automation tools, content creation apps, or creative projects, having access to multiple AI capabilities from a single platform can make development much more convenient. New users will receive a free quota upon registration. Go and try it out. I will drop all the useful links in the description for you. Now, if you decide to build something with it, I'd love to hear what you create. I hope this tutorial helped you understand not only how to integrate API QIK into a Python project, but also how easy it is to switch between different AI models without changing your application code. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more AI tutorials and developer tools. And if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.